quickly. Another benefit of a limited menu. The filet mignon was served with a lettuce wedge, homemade ranch dressing, and buttered Texas toast. Is there anything else you need? Heidi asked. No, I said. Are you always this busy? Year round. The hotel is busy too. The rooms are nice. An impish grin across her face. Haunted, but nice. Haunted? Yeah, but I probably shouldn't have told you that. How do you know they're haunted? Have you ever seen a ghost? No, but one of the other waitresses said she did. And you believe her? She's never lied to me before. Besides, it's not what she said, it's how she said it. It happened in the middle of a busy Friday night. She was in the employee restroom behind the kitchen. While she was washing her hands, she looked in the mirror. There was a woman dressed in 18th century clothing standing right behind her. We all heard her scream. I went to see if she was all right, and she was pale and shaking. She looked like she was going to faint. She quit on the spot. I ended up taking all her tables. She's never set foot in here since. She looked at me, studying my reaction. Anyway, I better let you eat before your dinner gets cold. There's more about the hotel on the back of the menu. Bon appetit. I cut into the steak. The meat was masterfully prepared and so tender that, had I been inclined, I could have cut it with my fork. I took a few bites, then lifted the menu. The hotel's history was printed on the back, and I read as I ate. Hill City was a placer gold mining town, founded during the Western Gold Rush. Its success was short-lived, and the miners quickly moved on, leaving the town to two residents, a man and his hound. In 1883, the town experienced another boom when tin was discovered, and an English mining company invested millions organizing the Harney Peak Tin Mining, Milling, and Manufacturing Company. The company built the inn, then named the Harney Peak Hotel, as a luxurious residence for the mining executives. Like the town's previous mining venture, the tin rush didn't last very long, and the town died again, until Mount Rushmore resuscitated the area, bringing in tourist gold. In 1974, a German woman named Vali Matusch bought the Harney Peak Hotel and renamed it the Alpine Inn. By then, ghost sightings had become commonplace, and the new management wasn't shy about telling their guests that the hotel was haunted. Vali even requested to be buried under the hotel when she died, so she could walk the halls with the other ghosts. Reading about hauntings made me think about Pamela. I wondered what had happened to her since I'd left her behind. For the first time since she'd shown up, my anger had settled enough that I could objectively examine my feelings. In spite of my rage, I felt somewhat conflicted about the situation. Part of me felt that even talking to Pamela was a betrayal of Mikhail. Another part, perhaps a more civilized part, thought it wrong to not at least let her say what she'd come so far to say. I pushed the conflict from my mind. Right or wrong, I had no desire to talk to her. If she was hurting, so be it. She had brought this on herself. Mikhail owed her nothing. I owed her nothing. I finished eating, paid the bill, then picked up my pack and headed north up the main road in search of the bed and breakfast. I stopped at a small market on the way and stocked up on water and supplies. Pop-Tarts, apples, trail mix, salami, oranges, protein bars, jerky, a baguette of hard-crusted bread, and a few canned items, soup, chili, and stew. I asked the cashier if she knew anything about the bed and breakfast, but disconcertingly, she said she had never heard of it. I wondered how that was possible in a town of this size. I went back outside and continued to walk, worrying that I had unwittingly passed by the house in the dark. I had walked another mile before I came to a sign on the side of the road that read, "The Holly House, a bed and breakfast resort." I wasn't sure where the resort part came from, as the place looked more like the Brady Bunch house than a fancy resort. The building was lit outside with flood lamps, revealing an exterior decorated with holly leaves and wreaths. I walked around the house and knocked at the side door. I was met by a middle-aged woman who I assumed was the resort's owner. "May I help you?" "I need a room for the night." "Welcome," she said, smiling broadly. "My name's Donna. Come in." I stepped inside what looked to be the home's living room. The room had dark red shag carpet and 4 screen walls covered with framed prints of Christmas-themed watercolors. "What's your name?" she asked. "Alan." "Pleased to meet you, Alan. We have 5 rooms available and a cabin out back. I'll show you around and you can tell me which room you'd like." "Are your rooms haunted?" I asked. She looked at me with a strange expression. "Not that I know of. Did you need a haunted room?" I grinned. "No, unhaunted is fine." Donna led me through all 5 of the rooms, beginning with the Western room, which featured a replica of Wyatt Earp's revolver, the USA room, the bridal suite, the Harley room, undoubtedly patronizing the annual motorcycle event in Sturgis, and the Victorian room, which was decorated with Donna's mother-in-law's christening dress and a working antique Victrola. The rooms all looked nice, and I didn't care much about which room I stayed in, so I selected the Western room for the pragmatic reason that it was closest to the front door. That, and I liked its tub, which is just about large enough for a cowboy and his horse. Fine choice, Donna said. For breakfast tomorrow, I'll be serving my festive breakfast casserole. What time do you think you'll be wanting to eat? I usually get an early start, I said, pleased at the offer of something festive for breakfast. Maybe 7, possibly earlier. I'll have breakfast waiting for you. Have a good night. I went to my room and turned on the television while I let the jetted tub fill. The television was tuned to a reality show about people bidding on the contents of abandoned storage units. They should do a show about a guy walking across America, I thought. Just not me. I turned off the television, undressed, soaked in the hot water, hot enough to turn my skin red, until I was ready to go to sleep.